So much to go over today, guys. This is exciting. Oh, we're two days away. 2 days away from the Chicago Bears having the most anticipated last year was pretty anticipated. We had two in the top 10, but man, this year we don't know what's going to happen. Things could get crazy. Probably the most famous line from Ryan Poles' press conference earlier today. And then Ian Cunningham reemphasizing it. Brad, things could get crazy. They could get crazy. We got a lot to go over. And I had my full first round mock draft. And it was prepped up before the comments of crazy because I've just been reading the tea leaves too much, guys. And I think Ryan Poles has said that there's been a lot of phone calls being made. I think he's on that end of the phone call, letting teams below us know, hey, you want to come up and trade? There's your guy there that might fall at 10. Hey, just keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. We're willing to trade back. We want to acquire some more draft capital. I'll get into it. I'll show you some of the things he said. He's laid it on a couple times. I don't think it's just smokescreen. I really think he wants to pick up a couple extra players and utilize this range between 10 and 70, as he's called it, in that range where he can pick up 2, 3, 4, 5 players. I mean, if he can acquire that much draft capital, more power to him and change this franchise for a long time to come. Guys that can immediately help this team, as he calls it. So we had the pre-draft press conference today. We have them back in Halas Hall for optional training camp. It's voluntary mini camp. That was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And then tomorrow's the last day they can have any kind of contact. Let's go to the calendar here. I always try to bring this up. So in the orange there, voluntary mini camp going on right now, 21st to the 23rd. We'll show you some pictures from that in just a second. But any form of draft prospect contact deadline, that's done tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's over. No more. Then the NFL draft, April 24th through the 26th. I'll have the link up very soon for the live draft that we're doing here. I'll have a couple people coming on with me, and it's just going to be us chit-chatting, talking the draft as it's on, giving reactions, giving excitement, giving worries, concerns, whatever we come across. That'll be us on the draft. It'll be a lot of fun, so please come tune in for that. Then after that, we have rookie minicamp, beginning of May, OTAs again, mandatory minicamp, on and on and on and on. But here's some pictures from today's. Actually, let's get into the Brian Piccolo Award first. I almost forgot. Sorry about this, guys. So Ben Johnson wrote a poem, and it was actually, I apologize. On Twitter, someone brought this out, shared the poem. Nick Moreno. It was Nick Moreno that shared the poem and this picture. So I brought this, but it was easy. The screenshot wasn't as clean, so I copied paste, made it look nicer for the screen here. Ben Johnson wrote the poem "More Than a Jersey" for Brian Piccolo. Those who don't remember, Brian, it was however long ago Brian Piccolo was a Chicago Bear. What is this, 50, 60 years ago? I don't, anyways, he died at age 26 of testicular cancer. And they give the Brian Piccolo Award for basically leadership and good personality and basically being a good teammate. They give one to a vet and one to a rookie. So this year it's TJ Edwards and Romadunze. So here's the quote of the poem that Ben Johnson shared. It said, "He wore the sea upon his chest, not just in games, but in each test. A bear by number, name and grace, but more than that, steady face. He wasn't picked in any round or fame. No headlines danced around his name. Yet still he fought and still he rose. A quiet strength the whole team knows. With courage burning deep and true, he gave his all and all he do. Not just in wins, but every day he led with heart in every play. He stood for loyalty and trust, a friend, a guide, both first and just. He showed that greatness doesn't shout, but lifts others up day in and day out. His life is marked by dedication, a model for each generation. Each practice moment, snap and stride, he gave the game his soul and pride. When illness came, he met the storm with strength that moved beyond the norm. And though his race was far too brief, he left behind a bold and brief that love is real and brotherhood, that fighting back is doing good, that joy and grit can coexist, that every name deserves a list. Today, we see his spirit rise and steadfast hands and through his eyes. And though he is gone, his story grows, a legacy that never slows. powerful. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys like poetry. I've always liked certain poetry, but this is one of those things where Ben Johnson is coming into Halas Hall. They know he's been a Bears fan his whole life. They knew he grew up going to Cubs games, being a part of this city and understanding the history here. So him creating this is a way of bonding the team. He's putting his stamp on this team, and it's fun to watch the way that Ben Johnson is going about this. So let me actually show you on the Bears website. So straight on Chicago Bears website, you can go there and look at the Brian Piccolo Award winners. You can look at the previous ones as well. It's kind of fun to look at, but right there it has the description. Every season, the Brian Piccolo Award is given to one rookie and one veteran who best exemplifies the courage, loyalty, teamwork, dedication, and sense of humor of being the Bears running back. Take a look at the winners of this award dating back to 1970. So here's just some of the most recent ones. This year, Rome Odunze was announced as this year's award winner as the rookie. TJ Edwards, once again, was this year's veteran. And you can see last year, Darnell Wright was last year's rookie, and TJ Edwards was last year's veteran. So he's won it 2 years in a row now. And you can see Jack Sanborn the year before. David Montgomery was the veteran. That's 2022. And then 2021, Khalil Herbert, no longer with the team. Robert Quinn was the vet. Then you had Darnell Mooney as the rookie, 2020. And 2020 had Allen Robinson as the vet, 2 wide receivers. We'll go back just one more year. You had David Montgomery as the rookie, so he won it 2 times, once as a rookie and once as a vet. And then you had Nick Williams, defensive line. Man, this is bringing back flashbacks of old Bears teams. In 2019, Nick Williams. Let's go back one more year. This is fun for me. Roquan Smith, 2018. Oh, man. Bringing stuff back. And then Akeem Hicks in 2018 as well. So that's the Brian Piccolo Award winners. You can go to the Bears.com website to check that out as well. So, very cool. TJ Edwards and Rome Odunze both got up in front of the press and answered some questions and talked about it. So a very good moment for those two, and very cool of Ben Johnson to leave his stamp on this team and to really start things off on the right foot. And then here's some, let's go right here. Take me off screen for just a minute. There's some pictures from, the Bears shared this on social media, just so you guys know. Some pictures from training camp. And as I showed, it was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And you can see quite a few. I mean, all of the main starters are here in these pictures as you dissect it. All the main wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, both tight ends, all the offensive linemen. The only one I've heard maybe wasn't there was Jalen Johnson. What's really impressive is that DJ Moore was there just weeks after having a baby. So, and I know it's just a couple of days taken away, and they understand this is their profession, their career, it's normal. But very cool. Very cool for him to take some time out. These are optional camp here. This is not required. As you saw on the schedule, they'll be getting to that. So a couple more pictures from camp. This is just the ones they shared. So I'm just sharing with you what the Bears shared, and it's just cool to see the guys back together in camp. I think there was a small little snippet video if you want to check that out on Twitter. It wasn't anything big. There's one before from 2 weeks ago's camp. But they'll be back in action with the rookies the week after. But after this, Ryan Poles did get up and speak, and Ian Cunningham got up and spoke as well. I thought it was pretty insightful, the things that they shared. So here's my takeaways from what they shared. Number one, and I'll go through them quick, and then I'm going to share a couple snippets. Number one, made an emphasis on undrafted free agents. They did that through the Brian Piccolo Award. Also did it when talking about TJ Edwards. And then he also said they would have an opportunity to add a couple impactful guys, and they've got the whole team. They've got dedicated guys who are really focusing on that this year. And this is one year where I kind of felt like maybe the undrafted free agents weren't going to be as impactful. This team, we've spent a haul on free agency. We've spent a ton of money on free agency. We've really brought in most of the starters up to this point to where now we can pick best player available in the draft. Those first 4 draft picks don't have to be starters. a tight end 2 would be nice for 12 personnel. A rotational running back with DeAndre Swift, whoever it is, even if it's Ashton Genty or Marion Hampton or Caleb Johnson, probably going to split reps, at 60%, 40%, whatever it is, they're going to split reps. So it's not like critical to get that guy first. Need a backup guard, a rotational tackle. We need a rotational defensive end, a rotational defensive tackle, another linebacker down the road, another safety. But none of these are like critical. Oh, crap, we're missing this one piece, and it's detrimental to this team if we don't get this at the very first pick. Like, there's not one of those. Running back, we can get first, second, third round. They've talked about it extensively. So it's not, we don't have to get it right. Tight end, it doesn't have to be tight end 2. It doesn't have to be Tyler Warren. It could be Mason Taylor. It could be Elijah Arroyo. It could be several different options for the Bears. Who knows what they're going to do, but it doesn't. They've made an emphasis that this team is pretty well stacked, and now they're going to add a couple pieces through undrafted free agency. I thought that was pretty telling. So here's the clip from that. I shared part of this on social media, but here's the clip from Ryan Poles talking. Did I already start? No. Okay, right there. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Here's the clip from Ryan Poles talking about that. If you can add a couple of these guys, it's impactful. So let's check out what he had to say.
To sign a piece like TJ Edwards to not only one, but his second contract now make you look at the undrafted market a little bit differently. Like there are gems that can be gotten here that can be starters and impact players on the team.
Yeah, and I think with today's landscape, college landscape, I think you're going to see a lot more guys like that, guys that have been developed that stay the extra year. I think there's going to be a high volume of those players. We challenge our group to, we take that very seriously. We pair up with the coaches. Ian can get in kind of the details of that. But that's what you're looking for. If you can hit a couple of those guys per year, you're cooking.
Man, this whole press conference, like he really did hold himself with a lot more swagger too. A lot of his mannerisms, I'm starting to love the way Ryan Poles is. His mannerisms, if you're not set on one way or the other, like predetermining what he's going to do, you can kind of read between the tea leaves of how this man thinks and feels. I don't think it's that hard, and I don't think he's smoke screening. I really think he's being pretty open, and he's got a clear grip. I think there's very few players that could fall to 10 from what he said in this press conference that would make them be like, we have to. So they're very confident with their pre-prep work. That's one message that he sent through the entire thing. Where they sit on the board, they feel really good about it. It was funny when they asked the question, how do you feel? How many players are you looking at 10? And his smirks and his mannerisms, I'll pull them up. But he also said, there's a lot of phone calls going on right now, and things could get very crazy. I'm going to interject and say, I think Ryan Poles is the one making those phone calls. I think he's calling down to San Francisco, to Miami, to Atlanta, to Seattle, to Denver, to the Chargers. I think he's the one making the calls saying, look, we're looking to move down a little bit. We have a clear path of where we are. They talked about where certain players, certain positions are deep. And if they feel confident with the depth of those positions, calling those teams and saying, look, just where we sit in this draft, we feel confident with moving back a little bit and accomplishing our needs still. If you have the need to come up, keep us in mind. That's what the pre-draft process would be looking at right now. Hey, we're already feeling confident about this. If you feel like you want to come up for someone at 10, we want to add someone. Here's some of the things that Ryan Poles said in regards to this. So here's the first one where he said things are going to be a little bit wild.
Where we're at, I think this one's going to be a little wild, but we're going to be prepared for all the different scenarios that pop up. The time working with Ben throughout this has been great. Some really good communication, some great discussions as we set the board and get prepared for the draft in a couple of days.
And yes, I'm speculating, but here's the follow-up where he said more movement. And then I'm going to get into the final one that's probably more telling than anything, where he alludes to, directly says we could add more players. And watch his shimmies and shakes when he does this. It's really, I love mannerisms. I love body language. I love these types of things.
Yeah, I think it's deeper in certain areas than others. Usually the cutoff is a little bit quicker. I think once you kind of get into 2, 3, and this one's going to be a little bit different. So I think there's going to be a lot more movement than there has been in the past.
Okay, I could share so many snippets from this press conference, but this will be the last one. And listen to his words at the end of this snippet. He's directly saying we can pick up more pieces. And don't forget, in fact, let me hurry and bring this up real quick. This was him pre-combine. This is what he had to say. Didn't have this ready. I'll get it right now. So this is what he had to say pre-combine. Okay, bring it on. Bring it on. So Ryan Poles said, really, the approach is the same. Poles told ChicagoBears.com, we're just trying to gather as much information about the players that we can, or that we interact with. We know sitting at 10, there's probably going to be some really good opportunities for us to improve our football team. But with this draft, there's also enough depth in the first round that I believe you could actually move back a little bit and still pick up a good player. So something huge the Bears did was being so aggressive in free agency, adding Drew Dahlman, adding Joe Tooney, adding Jonah Jackson, adding Dio Odengbo, adding Grady Jarrett, adding Olamide Zaccheaus. Those were so huge because now with the draft, we're not desperate. There might be some teams that are desperate in the first round to pick up that tackle that they need to get before all the tackles start running off the board, to pick up that defensive end that they need to pick up before the defensive ends start running off the board. There will be trades in this draft. It happens every freaking year. Usually 40 plus trades during draft day. That happens between rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's going to happen. Do the Bears have to be desperate and trade up? No. And he's alluding to this. He said it before, and he's saying it right now in this as well.
Trading back, do you see it that way or the opposite?
Potentially. There's a lot of phone calls going on right now, so it's hard to tell today. But I think as we get closer, it'll start to show itself.
With 2 days to go, how large is the pool of players you're looking at right now for pick 10?
Yeah, it's there's a large pool of very good football players, and then I think you can do some different things to get more players that are going to be able to come in and help your team quickly.
I really love our GM. Those mannerisms, that smirk. It's not that he's throwing a smoke screen up. It's that he's having to intentionally shield how he feels. He's not giving anything away. But when you're trading down, it's a lot easier to say, yeah, you know what? There's opportunities here. Smirk, come and get it. Even this, other teams are going to analyze other press conferences as the Colts and the Raiders and the Jaguars and the Saints and everybody's doing their pre-draft press conference. They're going to analyze everything. This is the NFL, multi-million, billion-dollar industry where they want to have the leg up. There are analysts in Halas Hall that are analyzing other teams and other coaches and body language and mannerisms and all of this stuff. I promise you, this is no stone goes unturned, and they don't ignore anything when it comes to this stuff. The Bears are prepared for this. Ryan Poles saying that is inviting other teams to come and trade for the number 10 pick. We'll see if I'm right. We'll see if we have a trade partner. It takes two to tango. But I can see that smirk and unique response in relation to the number 10 pick and picking up a couple more players that can come in and help. His words were, get more players to come in to help this football team. More, not different. He even talked in the last little bullet point here. Every player is going to have holes. So they asked why some teams are higher on certain tackles than other tackles, and you can relate it to any position, wide receiver, defensive end, running back, anything. And he said teams don't view those players the same way. It's how they fit within their scheme and how they can overcome those holes that they have, the deficiencies they have, to make them work within their program. So it's just the flavor they're looking for. That was a really good answer because as Bears fans, we're going through that all offseason. Someone might love Mike Green. Someone might like James Pierce. Someone might like Shamar Stewart. Someone might like Mikael Williams or Landon Jackson or whatever your defensive end preference might be. The Bears might have their preference. In this press conference, Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham talked about how in the beginning they sat down with Press Taylor and Ben Johnson and and Dennis Allen and all of the coordinators got together. They said what they would like. And it was interesting. They said not much is going to have to change on offense. They're not looking to change much from the offensive scheme. It's basically going to be the same. But Dennis Allen had some changes he wanted to make on defense. So the defense is going to shift a little bit. We know there's going to be more man coverage from things they've said. Probably a few more defensive back settings. Kyler Gordon's going to shift around a little bit. We know that. Maybe only 2 linebackers on the field at most times. Might be some more stunts and blitz. Who knows? Who knows what those changes are going to be? But Dennis Allen wants to implement a few more changes on the defensive side of the ball. So with that in mind, they've got guys that they target. And as we go through our favorites, someone might love, going back to the running back, Ashton Genty. Someone might like Caleb Johnson or Marion Hampton or Cam Scattaboo. It's what the Bears see that flavor for fitting this team will be. Not in general, not number one on the big board for everybody else, not Mel Kiper's big board. It's how the Bears see their board of what their needs are. And they talk specifically about a playmaker. And they want playmakers. So Ian Cunningham specifically mentioned how it doesn't matter the positional need of someone. And I know some people have already run completely away with this, thinking it only means Ashton Genty. It just means any playmaker. Could mean Tyler Warren. Could mean Tatoria McMillan. I mean, it could mean whoever the Bears see being the best fit to help this offense, this team, this defense succeed and take it to the next level is the direction they're going to go. So I thought the most fun thing that he said in this press conference was getting crazy. Things could get crazy. So I already had a mock draft revolved around that, prepped up and ready to go. I'm going to release that one tonight. So I didn't want to make this too long and too crazy, but I'm going to release that mock draft tonight. It's a full first round, every team's pick, and then the Bears full 7 rounds after the end of the first round. So yeah, it's one of the funner ones that I think I've done. I'll give you a hint for those who are watching this video. The Bears make 4 trades in the first round. Might sound completely unrealistic, but it actually fits. It fits this. Things could get crazy, and the Bears could fill needs by trading in certain positions for players that other teams might be coming up for. For example, if Michigan really loves Colston Loveland, and they do, top 30 visit, Jim Harbaugh worked with him at Michigan. If they want to come up and get that tight end before another team, say before the Colts, and the Bears are sitting at 13, prime trade spot. Then do the Bears want to pull a Lions from a couple years ago and trade back up to be able to get the player that they want in the teens instead of sitting there at 22? You'll want to catch that one. Lots of good news coming from Halas Hall today. Press conference was awesome. If you get a chance, go watch it. But those are my takes from it. Those are my little snippets that I wanted to share with you guys. A lot of fun there. Voluntary workouts was fun to see the entire team together gelling. It's voluntary, and they were all there. I mean, basically every player was there. So it's good to see that. Good chance for these guys to gel. Then the rookies will come in next week. The undrafted free agents. As you guys know, we're sitting at 72 on the 90-man roster right now. Add 7 more to that's 79. We're going to be adding 11 more players at some point, either UDFAs or free agency after. It'll be league minimum type of free agent contracts. There won't be huge additions, but there will be good additions. So if we trade down a couple times in this draft, pick up maybe a couple more pieces, that'll be, 70, 81, add 2 or 3 UDFAs, that's 84. Then we add a couple complimentary pieces in there, here and there. We're almost there. We're coming right up to it. I'll pull me off so you can see the schedule one more time, but there's the schedule coming up. You can see the draft right after the draft. It's not listed on here, but that's when they start signing UDFAs that night, the 26th, right after the draft ends. They will be contacting these players and saying, hey, we had pre-contact with you before. We want to make you a Chicago Bear. How do you feel about coming to the Bears? Let's make this thing happen. Here's the small little guaranteed signing bonus for you. Come be a Bear. I would expect at least 4 or 5 of those guys. I really would. John Williams would be great. Bo Collins would be great. Some of the local guys, but others as well that the Bears have been working with. Then you're going to get rookie minicap somewhere between the 2nd and the 12th, and then OTA offseason workouts will be the 20th through the 30th. Couple days in between there. Mandatory mini camps June 3rd through 5th. OTA offseason workouts again 9th through 11th. Then we get the break for a month. This is the dead season for a month. That's when I'll take my vacation with my kids and have a little bit of fun. And then we're right back into it mid-July. So we're there, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you don't mind hitting the like button, I appreciate when you do that. If you don't mind subscribing, if you haven't done that, there's going to be a lot of fun content. I will put out that mock draft tonight. It is a fun one. The entire league first round mock draft. That's coming out tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Till next time, da Bears and bear down.